Rossi hat-trick, beat the Brazil of Falcao and Socrates and Zico by 3 goals to 2. It was some match, that one. So this one is absolutely drenched in history and tradition. Brazil against Italy in the Confederations Cup. And an early touch here for Marcelo, the Real Madrid man.
Against Candreva, the right-sided player for Italy. A lot of them for Lazio. He's done really well.
Given away by Montolivo to Fred early on. That could be a problem. Oscar, who's been in prime form during this tournament, the Chelsea man, particularly in the first game.
Ball played into Diamanti, and it won't be the first time. It certainly won't be the last time he falls over. Been caught on the ball here, Italy.
They're really causing themselves a lot of problems. Oscar was a bit too slow to get his shot away. Chiellini made a vital recovery, but Italy here are full of errors in the opening, 50 seconds? And the keeper has to make a save. Buffon again there. Brazil with 3 massive opportunities early on. It was Hulk whose shot was saved.
Well, this is how they started the previous game, at a high tempo, winning the ball back off the Italian midfield players. Buffon with a great save. It was always going to go across him.
Neymar to take the corner kick here for Brazil, who've raced out of the starting blocks, aided by some very sloppy play by the Italians. This time they do get the shot in. Remember, Neymar has scored so far in the tournament after 3 minutes, and then the other game after 9 minutes. It was Oscar that time. This team is growing in confidence. You can feel it. Brazil with the home advantage. After all the friendlies, so glad to be playing in a competitive tournament. They want to win it. Make no mistake about that. Hernanes is coming to the side today. They might miss Paulinho. Oscar won it back for Brazil. Well, they've had to reorganize a little bit at the back. Balzali doesn't play today. He's usually there. He's on a yellow card in the tournament. Bonucci's come in there. But, of course, how does that midfield play without Daniele Di Rossi and Andrea Pirlo? That's a big point, really, with Italy. Remember, at the last World Cup, Pirlo was injured for virtually the whole tournament, and they were awful.
Well, they're going to play with 2 holding players, Aquilani and Montolivo. Montolivo plays that position for Milan and does it really well. He's had a great season this year. Aquilani for Fiorentina started to regain his form, but didn't play very well against Japan, and there he's committed a foul. He's not athletic enough to play as a holding midfield player.
That's a big call, really, placing him in there. Aquilani, a player who famously didn't really make the grade with Liverpool after a big money move from Roma. He was hit by a lot of injuries during his time at Anfield, it has to be said, but it wasn't a period he'll look back on with any fondness.
There's the centre-half, Bonucci, that's come into the side. He's an excellent passer of the ball, but Hulk did have that first chance. Quite rightly going for the far post, but Buffon just about does enough.
And he needs 6 more caps now to become Italy's record breaker, overtaking Fabio Cannavaro's on 136. This is 131 today for Buffon.
It hasn't started well for Italy. There they try to play out from the back. Prandelli likes his teams to start the moves out from the back. Bonucci will help them do that, but they haven't done it well so far.
Now then, Balotelli for Italy. Will they show some signs of settling? Candreva had made a good run ahead of him. Marchisio back towards Diamante, another of those who's come into the side today. He was good at the European Championships when used. Lively little player. You know him well, Stuart.
Yeah, and he's played well for Bologna. West Ham, he didn't quite fulfil his potential, but for Bologna this year, playing in the role behind the main striker, he's been one of the outstanding players in Serie A. Whenever anybody goes to Bologna, their main concern is how they're going to stop Diamante running the game.
Fred and Chiellini with a half smile in the exchange. Both these sides know that they're through to the last 4. Performances in this tournament have taken any pressure there was off Big Phil Scolari for the moment. Anyway, it could start again in the cutthroat Brazilian media.
Another point about this man here, Diamante's got a brilliant left foot from set plays. He'll whip this ball in behind the back line of Brazil.
That's exactly what he tries to do there. It's well defended by that so far unbreached Brazilian defence. Looked like a foul by Hulk, didn't it, on Candreva?
Didn't need to commit it either. Candreva had nowhere to go. He's a good player when he's running with the ball going forwards. He's not quite so good with his back to goal, Candreva. Pacey right winger.
Another Italian set piece. Again, it's Diamante to swing it in. Thiago Silva heading it behind. He is on a yellow card, so if booked today would miss the semi-final. So it's a risk they've taken. Dani Alves too for Brazil. So's Buffon, the Italian goalkeeper, and this fella, Mario Balotelli, that silly red yellow he got for taking off his shirt after scoring in the first game. Fred got it away that time.
He was fortunate as well. It was good movement from Italy in the box to get Bonucci in at that near post.
Montolivo stuck to his task well there, the midfield player, to win it back. It was his error right at the start of the game that had Italy on the back foot in the opening couple of minutes.
I heard Alexi talking about how they were going to play without Pirlo, and could Montolivo come into that position and run the game. Well, he got caught on the ball very early on, but that was better from him.
The Brazilian squad, remember, without Ronaldinho, Kaká, Robinho, Ramirez, Rafael, Sandro, who's injured, Lucas Leiva.
Hulk is playing a little bit further forward alongside Fred in this game here.
Abate was who played it forward. That's the free kick. And it's a yellow card for David Luiz.
Can't resist it, can he, at times? David Luiz getting involved. Now he's getting involved with Diamante. A tackle from behind. It's a play you can easily wind up. Goes through the back of Balotelli. Definitely a free kick. Doesn't need to make the challenge.
Just the 82 minutes to survive without transgressing again. So that's a third player out there who potentially could be ruled out of the semi-final. Brazil will want to keep the momentum going, won't they, Stuart?
Certainly will. So will Italy to a certain degree, but Hernandez coming into the side in that midfield role. Talked about it beforehand. He's got different attributes to Paulinho. Paulinho is a box-to-box player, good energy, scored 1 or 2 goals, but he's not going to hurt the opposition with his passing. Hernandez can do that.
Lovely ball from David Luiz to Dani Alves' Oscar. Couldn't find Hernandez. That midfield will be that little bit weaker, as Stuart was explaining, without Paulinho in there. Hernandez is a different type, really.
So it won't be the last time that Diamante goes to ground. It's already twice that as soon as he feels any sort of contact, he'll throw himself to the floor. It's one of the more pleasing aspects of his play.
Or of the world game generally, you might say. Bonucci brought into the side today when Juventus player replacing another, Barzagli being given a rest, Bonucci coming in.
I think he's a better centre-back and a better footballer than Barzagli. Here he starts to step out from the back. Neymar steps across him.
Started the recent game against Haiti, who surprisingly forced a 2-2 draw with Italy. They only lost 2-1 to Spain as well. Haven't made it to the final round in CONCACAF. Abate lays it forward for the Italians. Balotelli. Roberto Martinez in the studio saying that maybe he's beginning to mature. Let's see.
It's going to be a good battle between those two. He's already booked. Good interception from him that time. There's the missing player. Pirlo.
Calf injury is the problem for Pirlo, though I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him back for the semi-final. Just resting those legs a little bit.
One of his better games against Japan. On the ball 2 or 3 occasions. Wasn't able to get around the field that night against Japan.
AC Milan decided it was time to let him go, didn't they, a couple of years ago? He's won 2 titles with Juventus since then. Not the greatest bit of business, that. Hernandez with the interception. Abate gets it away, not very far though. Marcelo went down for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
And then Montolivo does exactly the same. I'm getting a bit angry here with the referee. They want more free kicks given up. Not sure that's the way. There's the challenge coming. Yes, there's contact. Hasn't been able to get into the game so far, Neymar.
Well, usually he's scored by now in this tournament. Is Oscar. Marcelo. Neymar's bundled over. I hope this is not going to get too niggly and silly. These 2 nations, of course, right up there among the elites. So there's always plenty to play for when they meet. They met as recently as March in a friendly match played in Geneva in Switzerland. It was a 2-2 draw on that occasion. Fred and Oscar put Brazil 2-0 up, but De Rossi and Balotelli made it 2-2. That's how it finished.
Just looking at Oscar, number 11's playing that little bit deeper so far. These games we've seen him play higher up the field, in behind Fred, with Neymar on the left and Hulk on the right. Roberto was talking about it. It looks like Gustavo's just going to play as the one holding midfield player, and Hernandez and Oscar are going to play either side of him.
Hernandez. Barty cut it out. Candreva stopped in his tracks by David Luiz. Don't forget ESPNFC.com is your source for all the latest from the FIFA Confederations Cup, video previews, highlights, match recaps and so on. Plus download the ESPN FC app for live video alerts of in-progress highlights. And coming up August the 11th on ESPN2, look out for ESPN FC on TV. It'll be 6 days a week, a brand new program.
A chance to counter-attack then. Fullback was high up the field on that left-hand side for Italy. Just trying to play around the corner by Oscar to Hulk.
Brazil, by the way, have not lost a competitive match playing at home since, listen to this, 1975. As Luiz goes down with an injury with nobody near him. Now that's a bit of a worry.
Taking either a whack or a fight or pulled his thigh muscle there. A good replacement in Dante, who did brilliantly this year for Bayern Munich. It'll be a real loss for Scolari to David Luiz off as a precaution.
It wasn't too encouraging the way he went down there.
He's the man that's had the best chance so far, Hulk.
I just wonder, is there a dead leg or something there for Luiz? It looks like, yeah.
It's the right thigh of Candreva. Just catches him. He actually gambled there, didn't he, David Luiz? There's a lot of space in behind him. If Candreva had played it one side of him, I think he's going to struggle to carry on here.
You must have got those as a player. I had a few of them even playing Parks football. I mean, it takes a long time to get over.
Well, I think at half-time, it'll be if he does play on it, it'll be at half-time where it starts to seize up and it'll make it difficult for him to come out for the second half.
And with him on a yellow card as well, maybe taking him off would be the sensible call.
And give Dante a run out, because, as you said, Dante's a good centre back.
Yeah, treble with Bayern Munich, so nothing wrong with him. He's having a great time of it. It would only be his 4th cap were they to bring him on. No, Luiz wants to come back. Showing leadership qualities at Chelsea, and might be the man everybody looks to in that dressing room in the post-Terry Lampard era, whenever that comes.
Of course, he's playing with a broken nose as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
With Luiz.
Which is a sign that he just wants to soldier on whatever. He'll have to be dragged kicking and screaming from the pitch by the look of things. Chilio making the run forward on that side. Player who was actually born on the day of the first ever Confederations Cup final in 1992. It wasn't called that then, it was called the King Fahd Cup, and was won by Argentina against Saudi Arabia. Marchisio, back towards Balotelli. Just the sniff of a chance for Mario.
Marchisio does well down that far side. He'd lost out to Holt, but showed persistence, and then the cutback was good. Goes to ground. There's only one real pass on for him, and that was Balotelli, who had made a good run. Just slightly deeper of Thiago Silva. Certainly no foul by Marchisio. If anything, the foul was by Hulk. Similar sort of position that Josie Altidore scored for the US the other day.
Yeah, would have been a very similar goal had it happened.
Sweeping it in with his left foot.
It's off topic really, but Altidore apparently the subject of some interest from the Premier League side in England, Sunderland. That's what we're hearing. See if anything comes of that. As we always say, there's a lot of talk this time of year. Abate's got himself in a bit of a mess there, but he got out of it pretty well, didn't he? Diamante feeds it back, and Aquilani was bundled over.
Good pressing from Brazil, though. As soon as that ball was played out to Abate, they closed him down. They stopped him playing the forward pass. Other players stopped the next ball. So he did well to get out of the situation. Making a mess up to start with.
To be fair to Aquilani, he has rebuilt his career pretty well since leaving Liverpool, and his Fiorentina side finished in 4th place in Italy this past season. And he got 7 goals in Serie A, not bad. Oscar helps it forward.
Slightly further forward for Fiorentina than he's playing for Italy today. No real flow to the match so far.
And there's a bit of niggle, isn't there, out there? The way the competition's constructed, it's entirely possible these two countries could meet again in the final. But to do that, Italy, if they're going to finish 2nd in this group, would have to probably dispose of Spain, who beat them easily in the European Championship final by 4 goals to 0.
Good run from Neymar. And the square passing, no real penetration. Then he made the diagonal run in behind Bonucci, but well spotted by Abate, the fullback. Came round on the cover.
Marcelo for Brazil. Football, it has to be said, has been overshadowed by the civil unrest of recent days across this nation. There's been no real question of cancelling or abandoning the tournament. Here's Marcelo with a very good-looking run forward. Fred tried to find him with the 1-2.
Raver got beaten far too easily. That's what opened it up for Marcelo. Trying to play the 1-2.
Given away rather easily by Oscar.
He's having a go at Diamante, saying that he should have told him to turn there, but to the centre forward, having a bit of awareness about him.
No goals so far, and it is incidentally 300 minutes now exactly since Brazil last conceded in all competitions. Luis Gustavo out to Marcelo. Now Hernanes. Dani Alves couldn't control it.
Great bit of play from Brazil up to that point. Hull could come in off the touchline. He took the midfield player Marquisio in with him, and he took the fullback in there. Big diagonal came. Here's that 1-2 that he tried to play, Marcelo. It's past Abate here. Now he's looking to play a square ball and make the run in behind.
Foul by Aquilani. In that slightly unfamiliar role, as you said, Stuart, where he's going to have to make a few challenges, and it's not really his game, that.
Well, the reason that he always gives away free kicks, he hasn't got great athleticism, he hasn't got an idea of how to get tackles in. He's always chasing players.
Now, in days gone by, this would have been Roberto Carlos territory, wouldn't it? Left foot, that angle. Any angle, really, when it was him.
Dani Alves is over it. I think it's Hulk as well. We have seen Luis hit some great free kicks this season for Chelsea. Cross the ball into the box here.
Well, they can use Hulk's left foot from there if they want to, or Alves can swing one in. Be a good effort to beat Buffon from there. Almost a debating chamber going on out there about what to do here.
I don't think there's anything being planned here. They're just trying to make up their minds on the ball. So a bit off the cuff.
It is Alves in the end. Oh, and look at the ball, not properly cleared. Ping pong around the penalty area for a moment there. Oscar plays it back in again. It's good play by Aquilani that time. He was in the right place to pick up the pieces. Montolivo dispossessed in midfield rather easily. Here's Neymar to play it through the flags up here. Fred is offside.
Well, Montolivo on the ball was having a bit of a nightmare so far in this game. Got caught again there. Oscar pressing him, winning it back. That's the danger moment. Just steps up, you see, De Chilio on the far side. Realises the situation. Good bit of play from Italy's back four.
That's interesting what you said about Montolivo. Of course, he did a great job for Prandelli here at Fiorentina, but today he becomes the senior man in that midfield when usually he's got Pirlo and De Rossi beside him.
When he plays for Milan, he plays the position brilliantly. He gets on the ball, he's got players that are more athletic either side of him, and he just runs the game. He's had a bad start, and again, the ball's thrown to him, misjudges the flight of the ball.
He really is having a nightmare so far, Montolivo. Neymar! And quiet so far, but you can see, and have seen in this tournament, exactly what he can do and what the fuss is about. Luis Gustavo, currently a regular for Brazil, if not for his club. Hernanes helps it forward, flicked on, Neymar through here and drags it wide.
Excellent play from Brazil, just quickening the tempo up. Switched the ball out to the left-hand side, then they went back through the middle. It's the flick round the corner there that creates all the problems, and a good run from Neymar in behind Abate. Once he gets there, you've got to hit the target. Just gets the ball between his feet. That's why he scuffs it with the inside of his left boot.
But he's got 13 goals in his last 15 internationals for Brazil. The 21-year-old who moved to Barcelona for about $75 million a few weeks ago.
We were talking beforehand, we've seen the goals that he scored in this tournament. They've been brilliant. But the best thing, and Montolivo's gone off, and Giaccherini looks like he's going to come on.
Well, has Montolivo got some kind of injury? Is he not feeling himself? He certainly hasn't played like himself. And Giaccherini, who's been starting, is going to come on very early here. Clearly a problem with Ricardo Montolivo. Luis Gustavo.
Waste from Gustavo. Italy only had 10 players at that time, but they got a corner out of it here.
going to have to reorganise again, aren't they? Italy with Giaccherini coming on.
Giaccherini's not a holding midfield player. Interesting to see who they play in that role. We talked about Aquilani. We can't really see him doing a good defensive job there. Here he comes.
Another guy, by the way, who's out today for the Italians is Stephen El Shaarawy. He's got an injury, wasn't considered for this game. Swung in, and Buffon, who saw it a bit late, elected to punch instead of catch. Oscar. Chiellini got it away with his shin, and here's Candreva.
Poor play from Candreva. He was playing for Lazio there, and he tried to take on Gustavo down the line, use his pace. It's not been a good start from Italy this first 25 minutes or so.
Now, they've looked a bit of a mess at times, but the score remains level.
He only created one chance, and that was a mistake by Hull. Marchisio took the ball off him and got the cut back into Balotelli. Again, giving the ball away cheaply, and it looks like Marchisio has come in to midfield alongside Aquilani. That's the change. Giaccherini's gone out to the left-hand side.
Hernandez. Italy pressing pretty high up the pitch there. Bonucci came across the halfway line in pursuit of that aim. Here's Thiago Silva of Paris Saint-Germain. Hernandez again, the Lazio player, and a challenge coming in from Abate. They've made a target of Neymar a bit here.
He's asking for the yellow card, isn't he? Saying that Luis got the yellow card when he into the back of Balotelli. He's thrown himself to the ground a little bit after the challenge has come in.
Dani Alves to feed it wide for Fred here, who's drifted out to the right-hand side. He is the only Brazilian-based player in the starting lineup. There has been a lot of talk about Scolari bringing in a few more of the Brazilian-based players, but this is the only one to start today.
That's not where Fred wants to be. He had no idea how to go past his player. He's a penalty box player. He can link up the play when it's through those middle areas. Blessed with great pace.
Got a few goals on the way into this tournament, but Neymar has decided he's going to come in with a bit of retribution, I think. Now, that was a bit of afters from the other one on Abate, and he's yellow carded Neymar for that.
I think Abate may have just dislocated his shoulder here.
Oh.
He's gone straight down and screaming, and the way he's screaming, I've seen lots of players dislocate their shoulder, and that's how they react. There's the foul. Watch as he falls to the ground. Oh, I think his shoulder goes out. Can't quite see it there. And then goes straight for his shoulder. That would be a real problem for Abate.
Well, they can bring on Christian Maggio to go in there, but a lot of problems for Italy mounting up. Neymar, meanwhile, has been yellow carded. So they've now got 4 players on the pitch who are 1 yellow card away from missing a semi.
Silly challenge, really, from Neymar. Frustrated that he didn't have Abate booked in the previous tackle.
He did scream out in pain. You might be right about this, Stuart.
You already see, he must have already had a problem. You can see just underneath his shirt, he's got that blue bit of tape. So he's obviously had it strapped up. But once it goes, until you have the operation to rectify it, you're always in a little bit of trouble, and he's in a lot of pain here.
I think he's clearly played his last part in the game today. The Milan defender, Ignacio Abate. Good attendances all around this Confederations Cup. And sure to be as well at the final. It is Maggio who comes on. He did start the last game. That thriller 4-3 win over Japan. Japan a little unlucky, maybe, from neutral perspective in that game. Jovinko got a very late winner, almost against the run of play at the time.
Maggio is a much better right wing back than Abate, but I think Abate's a better back four player. Plays for Napoli, and Napoli always play with wing backs, which he does so well down the right hand side. Maggio.
Marcelo winning the battle for the left back position at the moment, ahead of Felipe Luis, who was used in some of the games in the lead up to this tournament. The game's bitty, lacking rhythm so far. A lot of free kicks.
I'm not sure about that one either. Steps forward, he gets a bit of the ball. Maggio. That's the problem when you've got Neymar and Diamante, good runners with the ball, but throw themselves to the ground far too readily.
By the way, if it ends in a draw, Brazil finish top of the group. They've got much the better goal difference. Marcelo takes it in the end. Tried to wrong foot the Italian defence. Still not away. Luis won it back again, and Thiago Silva tried his luck. It is a slightly more expansive Italian side than some of more recent vintage, this one, but they still put a big emphasis on being very, very tough to break down. Mind you, Japan got 3 against them.
Yeah, they didn't defend well all around the field. Japan caused them problems in wide areas. That's why he may have just tweaked the system slightly. Landelli. Japan switched the play, and now there's going to be another problem. It's David Luiz. He's not going to continue. He's just kick the ball out of play. His thigh problem is too great.
It's like a casualty department out there at the moment. He's been struggling through with that. Dante's been waiting for his chance to be introduced, and surely that is now going to happen. That's one of the things, if you get a dead leg, isn't it, Stuart? It really hurts to kick the ball with it. It kind of reverberates through the leg, and you go through the roof, basically.
It's an injury you can't really run off. It's stiffer and stiffer. I never quite understand. Might as well waited for the ball to go out of play, and then made the substitution.
I think we're going to call you Dr. Robson today. You've diagnosed a couple of injuries straight away for us.
I've got a lot of injuries myself, so I know most of them.
Speaking from bitter experience, by the sound of it.
I also saw my son dislocate his shoulder in a couple of football games, so I know exactly what that's like.
At the moment, we're having a bit of trouble keeping up with all the changes going on in the cast here. So off comes David Luiz. There'd have to be a bit of a doubt about him being fit, wouldn't there, in time for the first semi-final on Wednesday, which is in Belo Horizonte. About an hour's flight from Rio.
Good defending from De Chilio. Saw the run of Hulk over the top. Looked as though he just got away from him, but used his body strength. Stayed composed and let the ball run out of play.
There he is again, De Chilio. Big breakthrough year for him, both with club and country. Oscar down the line. Brazil at the moment struggling a little to break the Italians down, despite the fact that Italy have had a few injury problems already. Abate with what we think is a dislocated shoulder having to come off. And already without Pirlo and De Rossi for various reasons.
Let's go again, and that a little bit deeper. Just trying to start the play. Join that a little bit later. It's just flick around the corner. Neymar in.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the Confederations Cup continues tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern. On ESPN, the world champion Spain take on Nigeria, knowing a draw will clinch top spot in Group B. At the same time on ESPN 2, Uruguay meet Tahiti. Confederations Cup live on ESPN 2, 3, and watch ESPN.
Well, the studs were shying from Aquilani, but certainly no booking for him.
Marcelo has played Hernandez a little wider than he would have wanted. And Chiellini did enough defensively there to deny Hulk.
I think Hulk made the run across Chiellini. Just unbalanced for a moment there. Bonucci has to come out the danger. Hernandez plays the ball on that 6-yard box. Chiellini's so tight. It's actually the wrong side of Hulk to start with, but just gets himself back to be first to the ball.
But it is a corner. Buffon got enough on it. The world's greatest goalkeeper over the last 10-15 years.
I've seen a lot of him over the last 2 years, and he's been absolutely sensational for rejuvenated Juventus. Hardly made a mistake. Some great stops. Games for Juventus with flying saves. So yes, is the answer.
Survivor of the 2006 World Cup win, Gianluigi Buffon. 35 now. He could go on another 5 years or more, couldn't he, being a goalkeeper?
Remain enthusiastic. Still got his athleticism. Still got good spring in those legs.
Winning his 6th title with Juventus this season. The first one, though, as captain. Diamante is the anguished player.
As he so often is. Just haven't got going as an attacking force, Italy, at all. Trying to get hold of the ball. Brazil have created the chances so far. Possession suggests that, 64%.
Here's Balotelli. Candreva stayed on the floor. Dante with the challenge.
The simple things aren't coming off for Italy at the moment. Simple throw into Balotelli, trying to get it back to the thrower. That's completely wrong. Brazil in possession again.
Thiago Silva, captain of Brazil, went to the last World Cup but didn't ever get onto the pitch. I think it's pretty fair to say he will do at this next one. Oscar. Marcelo, robbed by Candreva.
Good play from Candreva. Had to tuck infield to start with. Just make sure they weren't outnumbered in there, and then got himself out quickly as soon as the ball was switched. That's what Neymar's trying to do. He's trying to take Maggio in to allow Marcelo to come down this near side.
It's a big chance for Antonio Candreva today. It's his 9th cap. He was in the preliminary squad for the last World Cup, but then when it was cut to 23, they left him out. So it was a bit heartbreaking for any player that. Can he make the next one? Looks like Italy will qualify. They're 4 points clear in their qualifying group in Europe. This time Marchisio is in a bit of bother. We've seen a lot of this kind of thing in this match. Players on the pitch, writhing around.
And the Brazilian players all asking for Marchisio to be booked, and they were probably quite right on that occasion. Marchisio trying to press the ball a little bit higher. And a card for the Juventus midfielder.
Couldn't complain about it, really. Hernandez. Now Neymar. Should be a corner. Looking at that, got a close-up view.
Really what Candreva wants to be doing all the time, running back towards his own goals. You're going to have to. And Neymar just taking Maggio in and playing the ball out wide. Good pace from Candreva.
Oscar. Overhit by quite a long way by the Chelsea man. Looks a little bemused, doesn't he? Scolari. Goalkeeper in the making there. It's Dante. Chance for him to impress the coach. He obviously has done to some extent. That's why he's in this 23, but this is his first action of this Confederations Cup. Made his debut at Wembley against England when Brazil were beaten a few months ago. They didn't play very well that night. It was right at the start of the Scolari reign.
There's a better run from Oscar there. Realising Chiellini was trying to push into midfield. Just made a little run in behind him. Had the ball been better, he'd have been on the end of it. Too much of this man here, Balotelli. Hasn't been able to get too much support to him, Italy.
Did get that goal against the Brazilians a few months ago in that friendly in Geneva. Good form since he moved to Italy from Manchester City. Candreva, no, it'll need to be better. That Dante missed it though and nearly let Balotelli in. Bad moment for the man who's just come on at the back for Brazil.
I think that sums up the first half, really. Candreva tried to bend the ball in behind Dante and didn't get the pass quite right. Dante makes an error, and Balotelli couldn't get on the end of it.
I think he was amazed that Dante missed it, as we all were. Balotelli, by the way, does support a project to help some of the poorer people in this city of Salvador. That, as you can understand, in the current climate especially, has gone down well.
A fantastic reception, didn't he, when he came out onto the pitch before the game? Italian players were booed, except for Balotelli, who got a rousing reception.
Most of the Italian players have been confined to barracks, the hotel. Balotelli was let out to support that charity I was talking about. Luis Gustavo up forward, lovely ball by Neymar on the return. Oh, pity, I think it hit Oscar, the shot, and it was on target. It's a sweet bit of football. We've seen the odd cameo from Brazil going forward, but nothing that's engineered a breakthrough yet.
The chance that Neymar had a little while ago, it was a flick round the corner there as the ball was played into him. He played it round the corner and got the return pass. Just when they quicken the tempo up and they try and play through the middle in those situations, a bit more threatening.
Here's Neymar again. His magnificent piece of flair to produce the second goal against Mexico. For me, the moment of the tournament so far.
Absolutely right. Lots of players can hit a good volley every so often. There's Candreva using his pace to go past Gustavo. He's going to get a yellow card for it as well.
I think it was the cynicism the referee didn't like. You've gone past me, I'm just going to drag you back here. Yeah, like that.
And just a little tug of his shirt as well. Scolari doesn't like it. He's going to run the game frowning. Just going back to that Neymar moment. Talked about lots of players can hit good volleys at times, but not many players can do that. Drag the ball across with one foot, take it between two defenders, and then pick out the right pass at the end of it.
Not many players would even think about it, would they even? It's an outrageous piece of skill. You're going to see a whole lot more of that next year. Don't forget, the whole of the World Cup is live on ESPN next summer.
been a particularly good first half. Too many chances. Hulk had one early on. Neymar had another when he scuffed his shot wide. In the last 20 minutes, Italy have defended very well.
Brazil look the more likely side to score. You'd have to say that Italy haven't really existed as an attacking force. Candreva just shoves Neymar down that time.
The defensive understanding of the wide players for Italy has been good in this game so far, up against Neymar and Marcelo and Hulk and Alves. So often the creative players for Brazil.
I think one of the undercurrents, Stuart, here is these two nations kind of know they might meet in a big game at the World Cup next summer, and maybe there's a few psychological points to be scored.
Italy are holding a high line here.
Neymar plays that into a good-looking area, and a fine save was forced, but it's back into the net by Dante, who scores his first goal as a substitute for Brazil. The unlikely scorer, and Brazil do have the lead in first half stoppage time.
Well, I see it so often. I just think Italy are holding too high a line. It's an in-swinging cross. It's going to be played in behind them. They're running back towards their own goal, and it's always going to be a Brazilian that's going to get there first. And Dante, the substitute. Watch here. Giaccherini started to go back. There's no offside. There's the first ball played in. It's a good save from Buffon. He thinks he's pushing it wide of danger, but Dante reacts really quickly.
Fred's header in the first place. That's a good finish in the end. Buffon will be a bit disappointed. He couldn't keep out the second effort as well. An unlikely scorer. Bayern Munich's Dante is having quite a season one way and another.
He made a mistake, didn't he, when he first came on, nearly allowed Balotelli in. It was with his left foot, he miscontrolled it. That one he did well just to adjust his body and get the shot on target.
Well, the game needed that goal. Brazil had looked the more likely side to score it, and they have. Quite an adept finish it was as well, and it was almost the last kick of the half. Dante it is for Brazil, and Italy are going to have to do something about that. Missing one or two key men, and Abate having gone off with what we think is a dislocated shoulder. So 1-0 here to Brazil in